Alrighty, just wrapped up season 4, episode 4 with singer-songwriter, social media star Tayler Holder. If you're watching this, if you're new to the channel, we're the man-to-man boys. Like, subscribe. Don't be that guy who just watches the video and doesn't subscribe. Okay, no one likes that guy. I know I've said this in probably every single intro video that we've had, but welcome to the show. We got some merch right here. We got Mixed Iconics. It's like this new design that we're doing. We pick new mixed icons every single season. We got a logo right here, Man to Man Podcast, new logo. We got different colors. I'm rocking black. Use code MIXFREE at the checkout to receive free shipping. Linked in whatever you're watching or listening to this on. These are in the online shop, so make sure to hit that link in our description to support us, support the Man to Man boys, and make sure to use code MIXFREE at the checkout to receive free shipping. All right, I'm gonna stop talking, dude, because I don't really like my voice anymore. So please enjoy this episode with singer-songwriter, social media star, Tayler Holder. Let's get into the pod. UFC superstar Jorge Gamebred Masvidal, dude. What's going on, baby?
What's up, everybody?
Alrighty, what up, everybody? Welcome into Man to Man Podcast. Today we're switching things up and talking man to woman. Please welcome on the show singer-songwriter, social media star Lauren Gray. We know you like the DJs.
I am okay.
$1.99 for a banana bag, bro.
From this super small town called Alvarado, Texas, 40 minutes south of Dallas. Not shit there, man. It's just you know. But yeah, man. I mean, Nashville is great, dude.
How long have you been here for?
I've been here almost a year. I've been here. I got here in October of last year. Performed at CMA Fest last year, and then had some good rides. A lot of stuff started moving over here, man. And I was like, you know what? It's never more clear to me.
Are you a Titans fan now? Or are you a Houston or Cowboys fan?
You know, I'm sadly, man, a Cowboys fan. You know, and I say proudly sad because, I mean, I'm rooting for him, dude. But we can't ever make it past the playoffs, man. We get it. You get there and choke every time, man.
You went to high school in Houston, though?
I went to high school in Alvarado.
Okay.
Born and raised my whole life, Alvarado.
That's where we were like. Where is there any Houston ties there, or is that just?
No, man. We're our own little cult down there, man.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I went to Alvarado High School. At school.
Were you in a private school, public school?
So I actually I went to a private school. I went to a Christian school from like 2nd to 4th grade.
Okay.
And then transferred to a public school. I was, just that normal kid, like playing every sport you could think of, racing dirt bikes and all that stuff, man. I would like team rope with my dad. I was doing all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And then I got into the whole social media space at like such a young age, man. I started making dumb little videos on the internet when I was like 16 years old and, ended up having a little bit of success there. And I was like, like everyone's dream at a young age, I want to be internet famous, right? And so I went to the worst place in the world. And I went to Los Angeles, California. And
we were just out in LA.
I'm sorry.
We just had Lauren Gray on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Kind of talking about her a little bit. All right, cool. We got Tayler Holder on the podcast because we want to get into all this. So Tayler Holder, welcome to the Man to Man Podcast. Obviously, Nashville boy. I think another question I was just going to quickly ask you about Nashville is like, have you been to Tin Roof? Have you been to the Broadway bars? What's your vibe? Because we're from Nashville. We got to stay away from.
What part of Nashville are you guys from?
I grew up in Green Hills.
Green Hills.
Okay.
Same kind of hills.
12 South when it wasn't 12 South. When 12 South was like the ghetto, dude. It wasn't like this Instagram place now. Downtown, my mom's downtown, the Gulch. It's kind of funny because we were there like 12 years ago when it was just the Terrazzo, Urban Outfitters, and now she's back there. But just kind of crazy to see. Well, I call it like the city of cranes now. So
Dude,
we just kind of wanted to get your
man.
take on how is it being here. Okay, not a Titans fan.
Yeah.
You gotta go to a game.
I do need to go,
bro.
I think we're going to one of the training camp for him and stuff like that, and getting to go practice with them and all that stuff. So I'm super excited for that, man.
Okay.
But Nashville, dude. I mean, I've experienced Tin Roof, Red Door, Aldean's like a lot of times, and we've definitely done the whole Nashville thing, man. But for me, I try to keep myself grounded with, there's a reason I moved here, man. I'm trying to really stay focused on that. I've actually never drank in my life, man. I've never had a sip.
Really?
I've never had a sip of alcohol.
Okay,
in my
well,
life.
this is not in the shot here.
Yeah,
it's not
a good look. But
So I don't, I go out for just to celebrate something sometime and all that stuff. But man, I kind of stay away from Broadway. It's always just a little bit of bad news.
Okay.
Out there,
Well, us
man.
too. We didn't know if the girls were buying you shots, and we're just trying to get.
It's
texts back
dude. It's
from
actually
people,
so funny because there's so many girls that do come up and they're like, "Yo, I bought you a shot, or I want to get you a shot." And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but I don't drink, but my friend does. So if you want to buy him a shot,
see, we need to go with him because he'll get all the shots for us.
and we'll just pass them all to you guys.
Well, dude, I just want to say congratulations on all the success so far. Time in the Struck, banger. What came out on June 30th as just the audio, and then you dropped the music video yesterday.
Yes, sir.
We definitely want to get into that, but we kind of just want to feel out what else has been going on. We looked at your Instagram, I guess 2 days ago or yesterday, and did you just have a boxing fight that got canceled or something? Because obviously we know the music side and the social media side, but we're just trying to figure out what else is going on with you. Did you just have a fight that got canceled, or what happened?
I did, man. So I've been off and on in the gym for almost 10 years, man, and I've been fighting for some time, and but the whole social media thing kind of took over, so I never really got to like stay in camps or fall that heavy or whatever. But yeah, there was that Misfits fights out here at the Municipal, and I was supposed to be the main event on that card.
Damn, but, what happened, dude?
What happened
the guy, they said that the guy like got hurt or something like that, and he pulled out. They offered me another guy and offered me like more, like cut it in half, like and some change, like, and I was like, it doesn't make sense for me.
Is that something you still kind of would like to do on the side?
I'm in the gym every day.
Okay,
I'm in the gym every day.
What's your bench, dude? 350?
No, I'm talking about boxing gym. But yeah, but yeah, I am. My morning routine is I wake up. I mean, last night we had a long night. We were watching fights and stuff like that. But usually we try to be up by like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. We hit the gym, and then do our work during the day, and then at 7 p.m. at night, I'm in the boxing gym training every day.
So do you have anybody lined up for that? I just asked that because obviously we're seeing all this social media. Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Jake Paul. Even you said you watched fights last night. Bryce Hall like somehow is on this bare knuckle thing. Would you ever fight Bryce Hall again, or have you fought him before? Or no?
We like back in the day when we were friends and stuff like that. We sparred and all that stuff, and I would honestly, I would fight anybody, man. It's just a business at the end of the day. So if it makes sense, man.
If the bag is right, I guess.
Yeah, But I'm always down to get in there with anybody.
Is that like, would you consider yourself like this new age celebrity boxing style, or is this more of like a I can do whatever type of style? Because right now we see these Jake Paul fights and stuff. What is that?
I think it's funny because I did do that fight like 2 years ago or whatever.
That's why I thought you were in one of them.
And dude, that was my first like fight, and you look at sparring footage, you look at all this training footage, and I was more than ready. But one thing that like people forget is like the nerves when you get there, man.
Yeah.
And that's so much different. And I got in there, dude. I walk out there. Gib had like the experience of fighting Jake before me, and he's been in the big crowds before and all that stuff. And I got there, I walked out, I see 25,000 people. My heart falls out of my damn asshole, and I just like I freeze up when I get in there. I mean, I was playing good defense, all that stuff. I just didn't let my hands go as much. But man, after I've been quietly training over these last 2 years. I haven't been back in the ring.
So we're gonna see somebody. We're gonna see
it's gonna be different.
I
do. In the least cocky way, I do think I'm one of the top guys in the influencer space.
Get your ass back in there, dude.
You guys see that.
You guys will see, man. You guys will have to do some type of cover. Come up to the gym and watch us train or something like that.
There was something. I went to Tennessee, and again, I know your first stop's in Knoxville for the tour, but something like that where we had a thing called Boxing Weekend, where it was like the biggest thing at Tennessee, where all the schools from outside of Knoxville. Well, let me break it down like this: all the fraternities would fight one another in a legitimate boxing ring, and everybody would go there. And I did it my sophomore year, and I tried to like lose weight I didn't eat for like 30 days, just trying to cut weight and all this shit. Not as intense as what you went through, dude, but I was fucking nervous, and I lost. It was a bad fight. I, had defense and everything, but I was like, fucking, hey, that is an experience, bro. So I kind of maybe know how that feels,
dude,
but
it's gnarly, man. That's one thing that I obviously have been in the public eye for a long time, and I was more than ready and all that stuff, but that's just something you can't train for. It's different when you get in there. You know, I've been in front of big crowds, but like whenever it's like one-on-one, you guys are punching each other in the face. It's a lot different, man.
Yeah. But we also had Jorge on Masvidal like last week, and he was talking about he was talking about the bare knuckle league too, but I guess he's got his own like game bred bare knuckle thing.
He does have his own thing going on.
All right, we were just curious if you were still in the. Do you got a fight in the Mark Zuckerberg Elon Musk?
Dude,
do you got a pick?
I'm really, man, I don't even know. I did see recently that Zuck was training with like Adesanya, and then he looked shredded, dude. Like I'm like, holy.
Them beach photos, you see him on a beach. He's an in shape guy.
Yeah, dude. I never knew that. You know, you obviously know Zuck like just from who he is and all that stuff, but I ain't never like looked him up, let alone be like, yo, what is his like? Is he shredded? What does he look like shirtless? You know. But I see that photo and I'm like,
is it photoshopped? Like I don't know.
Like, damn, dude. Yeah. But yeah, you know, I'm looking to hopefully fight at the top of the year.
Cool.
I want to get back in there, man.
I personally enjoy it. I know a lot of the boxing heads.
I like it too, man, because you know, I think it makes me a little different than all these other country artists as well, because no other country artist is like a fighter as well. And if there's a cool way to like mix those, you know what I mean? It's hard to do both full time for sure, but if there's a cool way to mix them, man, I love the sport and I want to get in there.
All right. Well, we're still staying athletic is what we like to say. Let's get into the single and then the tour. We definitely want to talk about that. The single, again, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a banger, bro. We kind of want to just know, what is your creative process like? Are you going into Nashville Music Row Studios? And then more personally with this song, what's the creative process behind just writing this song? Maybe how long did it take? All that jazz.
You talking about the new one I have coming out or Time in This Truck?
Time in This Truck.
Time in This Truck.
Yes.
So Time in This Truck was actually the first pitch song I ever got, man. It was the one that I didn't actually write on it. I got it pitched to me by some really awesome writers. It's got like Josh Miranda, Ben Williams,
gotcha,
and all that. And so they're like in like Meg's camp and all that. And man, they've came in and helped me, and we were actually working on a project, which I think actually now that we're having to push the project back a little bit, we're gonna keep rolling out singles. But and all this new music, man, they've came in and really freaking flipped it around and changed it. I was writing all my own stuff with a couple buddies and all that, and I got out here and I met some really awesome songwriters that do this for a living. You know, there's obviously great people out here, and that's the best part about it. But and everyone, you know, I had like people like Bailey Zimmerman and all these people telling me like, hey, cut outside songs, man. I promise you, like it makes so much of a difference.
Okay.
And so I got that. I got this sent to me, dude, and I loved it, man. It was everything that I was wanting to say in a song. And
what does that mean? I'm sorry, cut outside songs.
So basically, Ben and them, like, they pitch a song to me that they wrote, and it's like, hey, we got this song. Do you want it? And then so I cut that as an outside song that I didn't write.
Also on that line, what goes into like, all right, that's the song I want? Is it something inside the song, kind of what you can throw on your kind of twist on it, or what goes into that process?
Yeah, so it was because, you know, I'm slowly coming over into the Nashville space and the country space. I was doing more like pop country. I'm really trying to go more country with it as well. And you know, I was working with other producers, other like songwriters and all that stuff. And you know, we were writing cool stuff, but it just wasn't quite what I wanted to get across, you know. And whenever I came in contact with them, I ended up having to write with Ben, and that's how I met him. And then we just kept in contact. He sent that over, and I was like, man, production wise, lyrics, everything. I love this, man, and I would love to be a part of it.
And you're an independent artist, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then we, you know, Andy Sheridan, which is the producer on it, came in, and you know, from the demo that they sent me to what he made it sound like is also a whole different thing as well, and it was just cool.
Do you have any like creative control on that, or is that more just like see what everybody else sees, and then
we all like bounce off of each other and throw in.
So you're kind of really in the studio. Just
yeah. So I didn't, obviously I'm not on the writing side of it, but as far as production and this and little tweaks here and there, I got say on like everything and kind of polish it up how I want it, you know.
And then with the music video, do you do music videos for every song that you drop?
No, I don't actually. I think this is probably like the second music video I've done. No, third music video I've done. But no, we're not putting them out just for the ones that are like really like we really feel like have huge potential, you know what I mean? Every song we put out is huge potential. It's just like, you know, do you want to paint a picture with it? I don't know. So, and because also as an independent artist, that shit's
what's
expensive,
the process,
man.
What's the process of actually making the video?
If you want, man.
The process of the video, we have you know, I have like my guy John that does like all my content and day-to-day and planning and all that stuff, and he's really you know, a big part of my creative side of everything of all this. And he hits up, he knows a bunch of like production companies and videographers and all kinds of stuff that film music videos. He brought on a young kid that came in, and they basically, you know, we have them listen to the song, we pitch ideas to each other, and then they give us like a breakdown, and it's and like a visual of it and all that stuff. And then we're like, oh, we want to tweak this,
And are you shooting that all in one day? Is that kind of what they try to push out?
Yeah, Time in This Truck we shot all in one day. Sometimes you go 2 days, but it just depends. Like the bigger the production, the more locations, the more all that stuff. It gets more expensive and it gets more days. You know, you can go 2-3 days.
We want to know about with the music video since it was dropped 2 months later than the single, and you see all the success come out of that single itself, are you kind of thinking, all right, let's make the music video here to keep, I don't want to say keep this song alive per se, but not even relevant, but you got to kind of understand what I'm saying here. Just to
absolutely.
Keep it new, keep it fresh.
We do that because, you know, there are certain songs that we, you know, we're like, we need to drop the visual with it the same day. There's certain things that, but this song has been getting so much attention, so much love, and we've gotten such good feedback on it that, you know, the music video was supposed to come out sooner than 2 months for sure, but we like giving it that space and then releasing the music video with it because it kind of just gives it that extra push, you know.
Right.
People might like not like forget about the song, but they're like this, and then you're like, boom, here's this, and then you get new articles on it, new press on it,
That's
and
what
it just
we were
overall
talking
pushes
about.
it back to the single, you know.
Because like everybody that listens to a song, especially if they like the artist and know of you or something, they'll listen to the song right away, and then new songs come out, and so it kind of gets pushed down. But then the music video aspect of it is like, holy shit, music video, I gotta, you know, and then it gets back, kind of hitting the algorithm a little bit. And
yes, sir.
it's relevant. So
Okay, tour. You're going on tour, Dylan Scott, which is sick.
Yeah.
And your first stop, it looks like, is October 12th.
Yes, sir.
In Knoxville. Shout out, go Vols. I don't know what screen we're looking at. Go Vols. Do you know where you're playing at yet in Knoxville?
I do not actually. Everyone always asks me like the venues that I'm playing in each city, and I'm like, I have no idea, man. I'm just like, I'm just told to be there. I show up and then we just go for it. Yeah, I don't know the venue actually.
Are you? Do you know if you're playing at, like, I know you said you don't know the venue, but are these around all the college towns, or are they downtown of the cities? Do we know anything like that?
John, you know some of them, don't you?
All over the
they're all
place.
over the place, man. Yeah, it's
Couple of college towns, cool. All right, well, cool. Fucking A. How did this come about with Dylan Scott? That's just the basic broad
it's so
question.
funny because Dylan has grown to be one of the, you know, closest people I got out here, man. And it all started with, we had some of our other buddies that are in our group that were friends with him, and we just started like trolling each other online, man. Because Dylan Scott made a video about us where he's like, we got to, like, something about grown men, like seeing grown men do TikToks on Broadway or whatever, and then so we started like jokingly talking shit back to each other and all that stuff. And then he made this video of him in the gym to that, like, Haley Witter's, like, the whiskey in us.
Yeah.
And he was like shirtless, like doing this funny thing. And then me and my boys duetted it, and we were like, yo, we got to get these fake country boys out of Nashville, man. And so we were just going back and forth for a while. And then we ended up hanging out with him. He invited us to Louisiana for a hunt trip with him, man. And we just started growing our friendship, dude. And he's great people, man. And all of a sudden, you know, they were looking for somebody cool for this tour, and they brought on me and Matt Schuster and all that stuff. Our team started talking, got it taken care of.
Is it your first tour?
This will be my first tour.
Let's go.
I've played, you know, like these one-off shows here and there.
Yeah.
But this will be my first tour, so I am nervous as hell.
I was gonna say, are any nerves and expectations, and maybe an end goal to this tour?
Dude, there's so many nerves going through my head, man, you know, because everyone's always like, oh, like, I wouldn't think that you would be a nervous person because you're so public, like, with your life and all. And I'm like, honestly, that's the exact reason as to why I'm nervous, because the world is such a cruel, like, mean place, you know what I mean? And I'm coming from this TikTok world, man, and I didn't blow up exactly from being an artist and all that. So it's really hard to earn that respect, you know, and let alone get people to believe it and all that. But I mean, we've been doing great. But yeah, I just get nervous to go out.
It means
there
you care, dude.
Yeah,
you know.
So, but end goal, man, just gain, you know, new music fans, new, you know, country fans, people that love country music, because I love country music so much, man, and just see what I'm doing and really believe it and trust it, and just want to follow the journey.
Put all your work to the test right there, maybe in front of new people that might not know you. And I guess that's the thing with touring too, or at least opening up for somebody, right? You're just performing to a total new audience.
And also like it's which I'm so blessed to be a part of it, but it wasn't like exactly like a little tour to like start out and get my feet wet, you know what I mean? Like he's pulling real numbers, and the crowds.
We were saying 2 months is a long time.
Yeah, man. We got 15 shows together, and you know, he's doing
Let's go.
a couple thousand a
So you're gonna
night.
be sleeping on that damn bus, or
yeah,
what?
dude. We're trying to get our own bus right now and all that, so we can figure it out.
What's the bag talking about on this tour, dude? Is that why people go on tour? Do artists make the most money when they go on tour,
dude?
Is that what's going on? What's the bag, dude?
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. You lose a lot more money than you think in this stuff, man. Until you start really making it, you know what I mean? like Dylan's making money for sure on this, right?
Yeah.
But like, you know, as an opener, I'm a first opener, and they're helping me out a lot more than like I mean, you know, I'm putting everything aside. Even though I have this great platform, they're not music fans, man. It's different. You got you got to understand the process of this. So they're really helping me out. So you know, they give me a budget per show and all that stuff. But no, it's not nothing crazy. I'm losing a lot more money than I'm making on the tour. But that's the process, man. Is putting your money and your finances into your dream and your goal and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then once once I start headlining my own stuff and I start doing all that, it'll really start.
I think we've even heard that from like we're kind of close with Mitchell Tenpenny. We've had him on the pod, and he's even talked about we still have to disperse all this money after the tour to merch guys, production, team like that. But I think we also have heard like touring is kind of where the bread's at. So.
It is if you like. I don't know all the ins and outs of like labels and all that. Like I said, I'm independent. You know, I've heard horror stories. I've heard great stories. You know, but you know, if you own your tours, then yeah, you make a lot more money. But like usually whenever the labels own it, you don't really make that much. Like But
as a first opener, are you selling any type of merch or anything like
that? So I get so that's one thing that Dylan was really, really cool about. Usually, like whenever you're opening for people, they only let you have like one piece, but he's letting me have three.
So that's
3
really different
awesome,
designs.
man.
Are they all shirts? Or you got a couple hats?
I think we're gonna do a mix of stuff, so it'll be cool.
Gotta get some of those hats.
Yeah, dude. No, we'll get you some whenever y'all come out, man.
Let's talk about your relationship with Parker McCollum. Obviously, huge in Nashville is Parker. I guess the question here is, and I don't know if he's the answer, but we'll just ask the question first. Who do you model your music career after?
My music career, man. You know, I have inspirations. You know, like Parker and I you know, Morgan and Luke and you know, Kojo and all those guys. But I'm also so different. You know, I love music so much that like all my stuff has like a little bit of a twist on it. It's a little different. You know what I mean? And but you know, yeah, me and Parker, I would say like I met him a couple years ago, man, and it started from my brother and my best friend back in Texas. They're like massive Parker McCollum fans.
Gotcha.
And I went home one day and I had known of his music and you know, his music's really good and I already loved it. I just I'd never talked to the guy, you know. And they were like, "Oh, Parker McCollum's coming in town." And it's already sold out, but I wanted to go so bad. And I was like, I'm gonna see if I can just reach out to him real quick. I DM'd him on Instagram and like instantly responded. He was like, bring everybody out. I got you guys backstage with me, all this stuff. And I was like, oh, that's cool, man. And we went there. You know, my brother and my best friend's like kind of freaking out. You know, they're talking to him, and then
they're like, how'd you swing this one,
and then Hallie, his wife, her sisters and stuff like that were big fans of me. And so it was like this huge thing, like this huge, cool, really, really cool moment, man. And we just clicked and you know, we had stayed in contact over the years and all that stuff.
And then you were on the same stage. It comes to like your backstage then on the same stage as him?
Yeah, we did. He did. He brought me out in my hometown in Dallas at the Dos Equis Pavilion. And dude, that was one thing that like another thing. Like I had not really had any show experience before that. I was super fresh into all this.
Yeah.
And he, you know, he believed in me. He brought me out and all that stuff. And I completely shit myself, man. I went out there and dude, it's just it's so different. You know, we did sound check and rehearsals and all that stuff, and everything went so good, man.
Yeah.
And then I walk out there, I see everybody, and it's the same thing, man. I just freak out.
Did you just go blank right there?
Dude, I came in late to the verse and all that stuff, so I kind of messed up, and then
so we got back on with him.
It was hell of a year. It was I sang his song with him.
Okay.
And he brought me out on that, and dude, it was cool, man. He was right there with me, and he I'm sure that he knew it, and I'm sure everyone else was a little tipsy and having a good time, anyways, and they were rowdy, so. But it was cool, you know. I think the most I'd ever performed in front of like before then was like maybe 1,000 people, and you go from like 1,000 to like 30,000, and it's just so different, man.
Talk about his belief in you then, doing something like that, because I had personally thought, okay, they're both from kind of the same area, but it sounds like you guys didn't really know each other, especially or for you personally, it sounded like obviously it's different connections through him, but just talk about maybe him believing in you and. You kind of having that trust.
I tell everyone that a lot, man. You know, even whenever I came out here. It's pretty cool to see. Even when I came out here for CMA Fest last year, I had never even been to Nashville before. It was my first time in Nashville. Came out. I was only supposed to be here for like a day. I ended up meeting through Parker and his family and all that stuff. Shay Mooney from Dan and Shay.
Nice.
And, you know, we were talking about music, all that stuff. And he's like, man, I'd love to write you something. And the next day we got in a writing session. We started booking stuff and all that. And I was like, oh, man, like I gotta stay here a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I have no clothes. I have nowhere to stay. I'm homeless here. And
That's funny.
And Parker was like, yo, come stay at my house. Me and John stayed there for a week, man. And
Nice.
and the day that we got there, he was like, yo, I gotta head out. I gotta go to the road, but you guys are good. Literally just let me and John by ourselves stay there for a week
That's
straight.
cool. That's awesome.
He was like, here's all the keys to all my cars. And I was like, I love you. Like,
Yeah.
I don't, what
That's
is
super
this,
cool.
man? Like, who are you? You're not.
Talk about a little bit more of like the connections, like meeting people and stuff. Is there like, I feel like Nashville, especially in the country music scene, everybody's kind of real cool and just laid back. And is there people that you want to work with, or maybe like somebody like that you kind of have your eye on, maybe?
Yeah,
like,
man, absolutely. I mean, there's so many people out here that I would love to work with, and you know, I mean, first and foremost, though, I mean, I've gotten to become friends with some of the people that I've looked up to my entire life,
Right.
man, and it's such a crazy, surreal feeling, and that's one thing that stood out here. You know, with you talking about how like nice people are here and all that stuff, that stood out so much because you know I was in LA for quite some time doing that, and out there, man, everyone's kind of like, what can I get from this person? How can I benefit from this person?
Right.
There's no like real moments with real people. Like it's always like you only see those people when you're filming together or whatever, and it's such like a work. There's no like no one goes outside and just throws a damn baseball. You know what I mean? Like no one. And you know, I came here and you know these people that I've seen on the big screens for so long, these people that I've looked up to for so long are like welcoming me into their house. They're hanging out with me. I couldn't pay them to hang out with me, man. Like they're around me and coming over dinners at my house and all this stuff because they genuinely just want to be around. You know what I mean? And it was such a surreal feeling, you know. So, but I mean, the list goes on and on and on of who
I totally get that because being out there in Los Angeles last week for just a week, I mean, we're hanging out with people and they're like, yeah, I mean, we got screwed by this guy. I guess, you know, it's all just trying to benefit off each other. It feels like on social media, but also people that are musicians or whatever the hell they're doing out there too, where it's like Nashville, like you're saying, everyone's kind of just going to work in their own studio, doing their own thing, things like that. All right, dude, we want to get into the social media stuff.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
How did it come about? Again, I told Liam, I said, I'm going to let him know that I just watched the Johnny Manziel, you know, Untold. Have you seen it yet or no?
Dude, I have not seen it, but John just told me about this, man.
It's really good.
So we were going to watch that, and then I checked out a little bit of the Jake Paul one as well.
Yeah,
and
it's good.
It had me really interested, actually, but I ended up falling asleep. But
I
but yeah.
watched it for 5 minutes, Johnny football last night, and went to sleep.
He doesn't want to watch it, though.
I'm a big Johnny Manziel fan growing up, so they say it kind of paints him in a bad light, and I don't want to.
Oh, you don't want to have this like bad image. Of
I mean,
him.
I know because I know his life and what he was doing like through college and stuff, and I just don't want that to change in terms of like me watching like, all right, he's actually even shittier or whatever.
Yeah.
So the question that he was talking about, or the thing that he was talking about, everyone from Texas plays football. If you're not playing football, then you're not good enough. Or you're too big of a P word to play football. It sounds like you played sports growing up, but how did you get into the social media world?
Yeah, man. I was playing, you know, football, baseball, basketball all my whole life, racing dirt bikes and all that stuff. I was like one of those kids. But me, I just like, me in school like didn't click, man.
Me neither.
So like,
Welcome
I
to
feel like
the team.
yeah, you know what I mean. It's like I feel like that's for a lot of people, man. But you know, I ended up leaving high school after my freshman year, and I ended up like kind of dropping out. My mom hates when I say that, but like, and then she enrolled me into like a homeschool and all that stuff, and ended up getting my diploma and all that. But whenever I did, I left high school. My best friend back there, his name's Cody Ryan. He was showing me all these like Vine kids, man, and them doing like them having like all this great success and so many views and just doing the dumbest things in public, and I was like, we just thought it was so funny, man. You know, 15, 16-year-old little immature kids just laughing at them being complete degenerates, and just so like I look back at what we were doing now and I'm like why did no one just punch us right in the face, man? Like why did but we started making dumb videos on Instagram, YouTube, like all that stuff, just like really fucking with people in public or just doing dumb things, man. And we ended up getting a little bit of attention in our hometown. You know, we got up to like 7,000 followers, and back then, like everyone was like, "Oh, they're famous, bro!" Like, you know what I mean? And we'd go to like local football games and start taking photos with like everybody, bro. And I was like, "What in the hell is going on, man?"
So you had a little squad then? That's what it was.
Yeah. We started with like it started with me, my best friend, and then my other best friend at the time. And it was just like us three, and we were just kind of trying, and we ended up going out to LA when we were like 17, Just
And
to
is
see
that
if
by yourself or your parents?
my
going
mom
with?
went with me
Okay.
as well, and we were just trying to run into these like Vine kids
Yeah.
and da 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 da, and I ended up finding a mutual friend that was friends with them, and we all kind of got to connect and hang out and all that. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, Mom, like I think I could really do this whole famous
Yeah. How
thing.
long did that take you to kind of build your following then before you, I guess you went out to LA? Because 17, that's
Dude,
what,
I didn't
like 3 years?
So when I went out there, I didn't even have 10,000 followers on Instagram. I didn't have any, I didn't really have a
just took a shot
platform
at
like,
'em.
compared to them, you know what I mean? And so, but I was like, Mom, this is where all of them live. They all lived at like 1600 Vine, which was like the apartment complex for like every influencer. Like the Paul brothers lived there, Cameron Dallas lived there, King Batch, like all the Viners you could possibly think of. And I was like, I got to be here. I got to be right where everyone is because I'm going to be friends with these people and I'm going to do this, Mom. Like I got it.
Yeah.
And
What did she say about that? Was she like
she was always really supportive about it. My
Okay.
dad's always supported me, but my dad is like that like super just Southern dad.
The Texas
that, like,
dad.
Yeah, Texas
Yeah.
dad that wanted me to, he was kind of pissed because I stopped racing dirt bikes. He just wanted me to, he didn't understand it, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
shit, I still don't understand.
yeah,
but
I don't think anybody does, man. I thought I had it figured out. Now what the social media space has turned into, I don't even understand it. You know
We're
what
trying
I
to
mean?
figure out that damn algorithm still, dude.
Yeah, but it's and then I got a little bit of success, and I started doing that. I did like MagCon a little bit, and then we did. I was on like Musically whenever that was a thing, and then it turned to TikTok. But I took a break for like quite some time, and I was on YouTube pretty heavy as well. And then as soon as TikTok came around, everyone was like, "Bro, you got to jump on this," and I was like,
Gotcha.
"No way, I can't do
So
it." I can't.
my first question with these types of people are like, what's your first week in LA look like, or maybe the first month? Like how do you get out of your circle there that you were in? Where'd you stay at?
When I was there,
Yeah, on that street.
we just got like a little like Airbnb thing, like little house,
and then
thing.
you're just trying to shoot out collabs with anybody.
Dude,
at that
all
point?
I was like DMing everybody, trying to, and then I knew I was like one of those kids where like we were like I knew where they all lived, so we would just like kind of hang around that area. Hopefully, we like ran into somebody,
yeah.
all that stuff, and we I eventually when I turned 18, I was like, Mom, I got to go out there, like I said, and 18, I moved out there, no parents, no discipline, no nothing, man, and I was complete degenerate, man. I completely fucked off, and
18
just,
in LA, bro.
you know what I mean?
You know?
And I was, I never, like I said, I never got into like the party scene or any of that stuff. I just completely went out there and forgot every reason as to why I was supposed to be out there, man. I was just hanging out with all the wrong people. I was just doing that thing. But that's the awesome side of it.
So how did you grow your following then from the 10K, and then you at the place that you had the Airbnb, was your following kind of up already?
It was like less than 10K, like I said, like before I moved out there. When I moved out there, I met some other friends that they weren't big on the internet either. But we just started making content together.
Gotcha. And then
they
people
they
just
lived
started
in that
noticing.
apartment complex actually, but they weren't influencers at all. And we just started making videos together, and like that collabing side of stuff just got us a lot of traction.
Okay.
It was like I said, back in Musically, and then like the featured page or whatever was like
Gotcha.
really popping. And then like whenever TikTok came around, like I had like 1 million followers on Musically or whatever, and then that transferred over whenever TikTok happened. But everyone was like, "Yo, this new app," and I was like, "I can't do it, man."
Would you
It's
say
way
that you're
too
one of the
cringy.
first kind of people on Musically then in that era with like a Lauren Gray or Josh Richards that kind of like had their following on that app, and then kind of were the first ones to get on TikTok to bring a ton of those followers on that app?
Yeah, I think that I was one of the first people in that like generation to kind of like cross over from there. Lauren did it really well. Josh did it really well as well. All that stuff. But yeah, there was only like a select few, like not everyone. That's like the one thing that was like hard with like even like the Viners that were all like so popular whenever Vine died, everyone just disappeared, you know what I mean? Because they didn't convert it over to everything else, you know?
Gotcha.
So
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, when did the music side of it kind of kick in for you? Is that obviously Musically? Is that you lip sync over songs
Yeah.
and stuff? But is your love for music always been there, or is that kind of like a new avenue for you in terms of songwriting?
That's a good question, man. And a lot of people ask me. Music has always been like in my life. I started playing guitar when I was 9 years old, and I picked up like piano and drums, and then I played saxophone in school as well. But as far as like singing wise, I was pure shit, man. Like I was not good, dude. But I loved the idea of it. I wanted to do it. I would see videos of like Justin Bieber and like all these people performing in front of so many people, and I was like, dude, like that's got to be the craziest feeling. They're all singing the songs back there, all this stuff. And so I went, I just started working, you know, every day. I was just singing every day. I was watching like videos on YouTube of like vocal lessons and vocal warm-ups. I'd never had any vocal lessons or nothing. I just was singing every day. I'd hear runs that Justin or anyone else did. I would try to mimic them and just slowly just sing every day. And all that stuff. I got from being in the industry and all that stuff. I got to meet other artists and songwriters and producers out in LA. Got in the studio, made some really shitty music for a long time, figuring it out, and I just fell in love with it, you know. And I didn't want to be another one of those like social media influencers that just got popular and put out music, right? Like I could have done it when I was like getting, you know, 1 million likes on Instagram, but I didn't. I just knew that I wasn't there. I knew that I wasn't making the best music that I could make, and I had so much like more potential. So, and all these people, in my opinion, their teams, because they tried to do it with me too, but these teams like see such a great platform, and they're like they throw them into something because it makes money really quick, like music or whatever. But none of these people like actually love music, and that's one thing that I'm trying to like cross over, because I genuinely love country music so much. I love music in general so much, and this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Gotcha.
But like it's been really hard to get people to believe that, because I was this cringy TikTok kid before.
And I think a lot of people view like those type of people like that. It's like, you know, you're trying to go do bare knuckle, or you're trying to be a music star or musician. But I think your path is very unique because you actually are doing it. You know, you're not just staying in LA on TikTok. You're actually in Nashville, you know, like recording all the music. I want to know, when did you get into the Hype House though? Was it the Hype House that you were in?
Yeah.
I just want to know what was going on there, dude.
Yeah, so I actually had the first, like, technically it wasn't like, I guess like branded as that, but I had the first content house that there was, like, and it was like this house that I had like this boxing ring in.
Yeah.
You know, Bryce lived there. This is like whenever TikTok was kind of starting to blow up as well. You had like Josh and Peyton Moormeyer, Jaden Hostler, all these like all basically the Sway Boys and like Lil Huddy and all those people in my house. And like at the time I didn't have a house that was like massive, so like some of them were just sleeping on couches there. Like we were just but it was all good times, you know. And then, you know, end up splitting, and like some of them did Sway House, some of them did Hype House. I kind of got an apartment on my own as well. Like, and then during the pandemic, me and two of my other friends at the time had some really good, awesome success on TikTok. Hype House asked us to come be a part of it and all that. So
I was gonna say, what is the deal behind those houses? Like the rent, or somebody paying your rent there?
So
like, what is going on there?
So
dude?
that's one thing where like I always had such a good like business mindset, right? And that's why like I was at the Hype House for a couple months. I wasn't even there that long, and then I ended up moving and leaving and doing my own thing. I had the compound, so I had my own content house that was just as, you know, popping as like all these other houses. It was right there with them. But because I lived at the Hype House, and I tell everyone there was so awesome. But I had never been inside of a house. We had 23 people inside of this house.
I think I saw a list like that. I was like, how does so many people live in
23 people inside of a big ass mansion in Los Angeles, California. All of it, the rent was $50,000 a month. But you know, we had like 23 people splitting it, so it wasn't like the damage wasn't too bad. So it's like $2-3K a piece. You know what I mean? But still, like the idea of paying $50,000 a month is insane. You know,
I didn't know if there were like people that are investing in all of you guys that were millionaires out there.
So that's one thing that I was like always. I was always really good at, like, I sound like such a dickhead right now, but I was always really good at like making a lot of money. You know, and that's one thing I tried to come in and like tell Thomas in the Hype House. I was like, bro, why are we paying this? Why are almost everybody in this house broke? Why is all these influencers that have such big platforms? Why is nothing coming of it? You know, I was like, why don't we bring in a sponsorship? Let's sponsor the house, like all this stuff. They felt like they had stuff figured out in different areas. It was like, all good, my man. It just wasn't for me. You know what I mean? So I took a couple of my friends, scouted a couple more people. I went and did the whole thing. We brought in Triller. We had Triller pay for the house that we had at the compound. It was $50,000 a month as well.
God
damn. We had Triller covering that. You know, they were paying for everything, and, utilities, all that stuff.
So you had
they were a big blessing, man. They came in, they put the house under their name, so therefore, like all the like. Damages and everything were in their name. But you know, I scouted these people, helped them out a lot. A couple of them didn't even really have platforms at that point. You know, I brought everyone in. I did it in a real, like, I had my agency that I was with, my legal team, my everything. I signed like basically all of them underneath that, or like I just kind of put everyone with my team. That way, like, we can focus over here, and the team does everything.
How do you become so business savvy like that?
It was, man, I was out there.
I just want to know, because you drop out of high school at freshman year. It's like, you know, I'm like, damn, dude, I got to go 5 years of college. I still don't know what the hell I'm doing, dude.
It's funny, man, because I don't know. I think it's like more of like the street smart, just figuring it out, you know, and going through what I went through. Like I was out there for, you know, 8 years, and, you know, until the last like 3 that I was there, I wasn't really doing that crazy, you know what I mean? And so you got to think it's like 5-6 years of just straight getting fucked over and over, so much money taken from me, all this stuff, and slowly figuring out how it works and finding a good team and all
just
that.
Seeing,
but,
especially when a lot of money piles
but yeah, man, I took everyone in that house, and they were all like, you know, financially not the best and stuff like that. And I brought in my team, and I made, you know, everyone millionaires in about 7-8 months. And
insane.
and
I kind of
it was-
want to talk a little bit then about the transition out of LA. Let's move. Obviously the music side of it is a big factor of it, but was there anything that, I don't know, you personally like, I need to just get out of LA? You kind of mentioned a little bit like, this not for me, the whole TikTok thing. I can't be doing this. What was there something that just clicked in your brain one day? Like, it's over with. I don't need to do this. I want to do something totally different. Is there a story that like internally for you that just one day it clicked for you? Like,
yeah, man.
let's transition out of here.
It was a whole lot of stuff, man. Honestly,
and we don't want to get into all the other, you know.
No, dude. Yeah, man. I mean, no,
but just like something internally for
absolutely,
you. Like,
man. And I mean, I had wanted to leave LA. Like I said, man, I'm a small town kid, dude, and everyone thinks I'm from LA because that's where I blew up, man. You know, and everyone, but you know, my hometown has like 3,000 people in it, and I just, from the time I got out to LA, about a year or two after that, I was like, I honestly hate this place, man. I don't want to be here anymore. But I was just, you know, that's where the work was. Yeah. Everything was coming to me on like a gold platter, man. And I was just, you know, it was working, and it was making so much money. And anyone else that was in that position would have done the same thing, because it was just so much thrown at you, you know what I mean? And, but I fucking hated it, man. I was at the lowest. I was buying Rolls Royces and Lamborghinis because I hated life. Like, I was making so much money, but I was so confused because I was so sad. Like, I didn't understand it. You know what I mean? Right. And then, you know, like a light touch on it. I went through like the roughest year of my fucking life in 2022. You know, I had the most absurd like things said about me, and people failed to do their own research about the actual like real facts of all this, and like why nothing happened and why all this stuff. They just want to pull the bad, man. And that's what that's what I'll never understand, man, is the world tends to go towards negative, because that's why I say the internet nowadays, right? I hate the internet nowadays, because back in the day, it was just a group of friends making fun content together. Right. Now, all it is, the only way to get views on the internet is talking shit about people or fighting in these influencer boxing fights. Or it's not like authentic anymore. It's not like, it's so draining, man. There's no real fucking friends in it. There's no nothing. Big and clip. Even going through the hardest point of my life, right? It spoke volume to me, because right whenever I started going through all that, even just theoretically say like that shit was going on, your real fucking friends, your best friends would be like, hey, I don't agree with that, but hey, I'm not leaving your side. I'm gonna help you get through this, right? And not one single individual came to me, talked to me, asked me what happened. They all just left me, because everyone's so scared to be associated with something going on like that, instead of just sticking around and trying to understand what the fuck actually happened, you know? Right. But on top of that, right whenever all that started happening, this is why I say, like, I tell people all the time, out there, man, I lost track of my life. I lost my relationship with my family for a little bit. I distanced myself. I lost my relationship with God. I'm by far like the farthest thing from a perfect human being. He sounds like man. Jackson Mickey. I'm not an influence, I'd say, man. I'm the complete like a degenerate, like someone that no one should look up to, man. But you know, I as soon as all that stuff started happening, like I said, I'd never been to Nashville before. I got hit up. I got a phone call to have a chance to come out here and perform at CMA Fest, and I was like, I'm going, okay? Yeah. Right then, I got to CMA Fest. I wrote a song with Dan and Shay, put it out. I did this. I performed in Parker McCollum. It was so clear to me that God had a bigger plan for me, and God was putting so many like horrible people in my life all these years that I was out in LA. So many signs as to why I shouldn't be there, man. And I was too arrogant. I was too ignorant to like really like see that like he was saying all this stuff. And I honestly believe that it was the best thing that ever happened to me in the worst way possible. But God put me through what he did, you know, last year to kind of be like, all right, listen here, man. Like, I'm about to really just rock your world for a little bit, because I have such a bigger plan for you somewhere else that you have no idea, man. And I thought I would have to stay in LA. I thought if I move out of LA, I'll fall off, man. And so it was a scary thing. But whenever that CMA Fest thing happened, without no question, I called my mom. I was like, I don't know what this is, man, but it's never more clear that, like, God, this is where I need to be. I went home, I packed up my stuff within 30 days, and I moved here. And
let's fucking
since
go.
Then,
that's a story,
it was
man.
the coolest thing. It was the best decision.
And
I've
you were
ever made
almost
in my
saying
life.
to the guys out there in LA, hey, look what the fuck I just did, dude. You know, low key,
man,
you know?
I just wanted to show people, because also, like, I don't know, man. Dude, there's a lot of stuff going through my mind at that time. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I'm just trying to hustle and just stay on my own grind now. And everyone always like does that too, because I'm switching my ways. You know, I was a city boy, everyone's eyes. I was a city boy, and now I'm trying to be this fake country guy, like all this stuff, man. And no one knows how I grew up and the lifestyle of growing up and all this stuff. And I definitely put myself in a shell because of who I blew up as and the content that I made and all that stuff. I look back at it and I'm like, dude, I completely deserve to be made fun of, man. Like I was, you know what I mean? But people don't understand. Like they're like, oh, he can't figure out what he's doing. He changes this every day and that. And I'm like, that's like the beauty. That's called growing up. You know what I mean? That's
maturing.
I'm figuring out where I sit, man. I had such great success over here with so many things thrown at me, man, that I didn't know what the hell real life was, man. And I completely neglected it. I was an asshole. I was a douchebag. I was all this stuff because I didn't understand like the point of life, the morals
and you're
of
also trying to be like everyone else out there, I'd imagine.
Dude,
you know?
everyone, because I did, man. I had a lot of things go viral of me being a little dickhead, man. I had a lot of me trying to fight people in the streets and all this stuff, dude. And it was just you adapt to the lifestyles that you're around, man.
Yeah.
And out there, I was around a lot of not good people and not, you know, they weren't good influences and all that, like I said. So they were causing me to go down this road that was really hurting me more than anything.
Were there companies that tried to sign you as an influencer out there? Is that what kind of goes on behind the scenes out there with all those people?
As in like management companies and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was lots of managers, like social media managers. That's what I tell people. There's no such thing as a social media manager. Like all those people, like all they do are take money from you. Like there's not really, like you may find one or two like that actually could do something for you.
Right.
But like I always encourage people, I'm like, go agency is where you need to be, honestly, like because you need credible agencies, like not some like random one that has nobody on their roster and has not done anything, have no credibility. Like the agencies that I was with or that I'm with and all that stuff, you know, they were full credible, like in the top like 4 of the agencies, all that stuff, and they had they were doing real things. And like agencies, that's what people get mixed up. They're like managers, oh, I'm gonna make so much money, da 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 da. Agencies are like managers can't even like make you real money like that. I mean, they can, but like very, very few that can actually.
You're talking about like independent social media managers compared to an agency?
Compared to like an agency, because agencies are the ones that are in with all these like Walmarts and Targets and like commercial like companies that like, and you have like a roster that whenever they know that Crest toothpaste is about to do a big campaign or they have a big budget, they know all of that and they pitch you and their whole roster. Right. Be like, this is who I have that would do it, da 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 da. And that's how you bring in. Like they were closing deals, man, at the time, dude. Bro, I'm an open book about this stuff because it's so crazy to look back at now. But like, dude, during all that time of everything, dude, they were making me. I was doing like $200,000-$300,000 a month, man. Yeah, it was the most.
So
like,
you were just saying, I'm good. I don't need anybody.
Dude,
to really
it was,
help manage.
and so that's why, like, you know, I always try to keep my team small and effective. You know what I mean? Like, and because there was all these people that would have like managers and this and that, and like so many people eating out of their plate. You know what I mean? And at that point, they're only getting like 30% of anything that they're making. And I'm like, guys, come on now. You got to be.
There's people that come out of nowhere, right? 15 people.
Yeah.
I got to eat too because this guy, you know, I'm not really doing
Whenever I was with my agency, I was with, like, they were taking, I had 2 agents that were working for me full time and all that stuff in that department. And they were doing 10%. So and it was 5% each. Like it was only 10% split between the both of them. And then, you know, you have like you bring on like an attorney full time. So they do like 3% or whatever of just like whatever your annual income and all that stuff, but it's very little, you know, very minimal. You try to build it to where you're, you know, these people also got to understand that they don't make money unless you make money. So you got to let everyone eat.
Real quick, I want to ask you what the craziest party was out there in LA, though.
The craziest party, man,
or maybe your first party.
Probably
you went out there.
Probably the craziest party. Honestly, man, we had some crazy parties out.
Were you out there too, dude?
He was out there for a minute with me, but before he was with me, we had some crazy parties at the compound. Like we had some people where we had everybody you could possibly think of at that house, man. And then also I was neighbors with Jake Paul out there as well, and Jake had some pretty crazy Halloween parties and all that stuff. But I'd say like one that I didn't throw, I'd say probably Drake's best friend Chubbs' party was pretty crazy. You know,
you got to meet Drake?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
nice,
I've actually had I've gotten the blessing to be able to kind of be buddies with him and stuff like that. So we still talk here and there every once in a while. But he's someone that really surprised me out there, man. He was, because you have this image of like Drake, right, man? Like it's like this big like rapper, big bad rapper guy. Like, you know, not that he's like some like, but like you know, I met him, and he was like the most soft spoken, kind individual, man, and just so welcoming and open armed. And I was like, that is so crazy, you know. Him and Justin are like the two that like really surprised me out there, because those are like two of the biggest names, you know, out there.
It seems like everyone's kind of seeing Justin Bieber out there. Also, all these TikTok videos where you see Justin and Hailey Bieber getting, you know, bamboozled or whatever by the paparazzi. Why don't they just have a fucking security guard? Is my question.
Dude, it's hard, you know what because I'm talking about? It is hard because, you know, they do and they try to ask him to stop, but like it's still like, no matter if the securities are in front of them, they're still like flashing like crazy. It's still like they don't like their security can't like touch them necessarily, like, or like because they're
Did you ever deal with that out there? I'm sure you did.
There was heavy whenever I was involved with like the Hype House and like the TikTok world during the pandemic with everyone blowing up, man. For some reason, it became a thing for every paparazzi in freaking LA to follow these like influencers now, because that's like where the talk was.
And how'd you deal with that?
Bro, I never understood it, right? Like I always saw like Justin, and I saw these paparazzi like, oh, bro, that's gonna be crazy, man. Like you just look so famous, man. There's all these people following you around and flashing cameras, da 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 da. And then I'd see videos of him getting pissed off and like going crazy on him and all that stuff too. And I was like, Justin, why are you doing that, man? Like, what the heck, dude? Like you're like all that stuff. And then like after living it, man, like I understand, bro. These people are so invasive, man. And it was whenever we were living at the Hype House, you know, we had our address got leaked. We didn't live in a gated community or anything like that. So we had like couple hundred fans outside of our house at every moment, every day. We had paparazzi chilling outside of our house. We had this like rooftop pool thing that was up there. Paparazzis were like flying drones up over it, like watching our every move through our windows. Like it was weird shit, man. And they would follow you. You would like leaving restaurants, they're just in your face, asking you the most bizarre questions too. Like you'll be going through like such hard stuff, like very serious breakups or very serious stuff online, all this stuff, and they're asking you the most personal questions, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you like? Man,
get
and then
me
like,
out of here.
They like don't let you like drive away. They stand in front of your car just flashing stuff, and I'm like,
what do the cops do about it? Because they get so many complaints out there. They don't really do anything.
I ain't never done nothing.
Yeah, you know what I did see, that the Nelk Boys video, how they pranked you with the cops.
Dude, that was in Texas, man, and they were we were out there.
You're like, I know my fucking rights, dude.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know shit back then. I was like, all I do know is that they can't come in without a warrant or whatever. But back then, I was just like, at the same time, I was kind of like nervous too. Like I didn't really know what the hell was going on, but also back then, once again, my ego's going crazy. I'm like, I ain't gonna let these cops bitch me in front of the Nelk Boys. I ain't gonna let these cops bitch me in front of all my friends. Like, fuck no. We had like Bradley Martin and everyone there, and I was like, I ain't doing that, man. And so like I'm over here talking crazy, knowing my rights and all this stuff. I didn't know shit, man.
That was hilarious, bro. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
How do you stay humble throughout all this, man?
I think it's living through like fuck ups and being that arrogant asshole that I was, and hitting rock bottom, falling on my face, and having a lot of things said about me to kind of understand and snap me into reality. That's one thing that like I try to preach now and stuff like that. And I tell people, I'm like, you guys hold on to things for so long, right? There's still people that talk about freaking me 6 years ago and like what I did 6 years ago, and I'm like, man, get over it, dude. Yeah. Like they leave no room for maturing in this space, man. And that's what's so sad is some of these people like me and others even younger than me, man, they got into this at such a young age and such great success that the whole world is watching their every move. And so the one time that they do something bad, they get absolutely shit on. But these people are kids, like saying stuff that they're not supposed to be saying, doing things that they're not supposed to be saying, stealing that or whatever it is, right? Not that any of that is okay, but every single one of these individuals that are judging from the camera and all that stuff are just as guilty of, and if not more than all of us doing of what we're doing, except ours just happens to be a lot more publicized than theirs, right? And so that's why I say like they leave no room for maturing. Like life is all about constantly fucking up everything, man, and learning from that. And that's how you mature, because if you don't go through those moments, you'll think that you'll just keep doing the same things, right? Like, but and that's one thing that I've kind of like tried to hold on to is like, man, the world, I think the worst thing that the internet ever did for us is give everyone a voice, you know, in the most like respectful way possible, if that makes sense, is giving everyone a voice, because it's made the world such a toxic place, man. Yeah. But you know, all you can remember is that like, no matter how mad you get at yourself, how much you beat yourself up, or whatever the hell you try to do or try to fight people or whatever, it's never going to change the fact that those moments in your life have already happened, and you can't fucking change it, man. And you got to look forward. You got to just.
Any crazy fan experiences?
Dude, there's tons of them. Yeah, for sure.
What about this new age of you of like being a country star? Any fan experiences there that are kind of crazy?
Dude, there was actually this is really TMI, man. But this is actually the other day. That's not too much TMI, but this is the other day. This like grown lady, she's like in her 40s, man, comes up to me, and she was definitely like flirting with me and saying not the most great things, like very inappropriate things, and me in that moment, I'm just like, oh, you're yeah, and I'm just like trying to kind of just like go back to where I was, right? Yeah. And then there was like these other people taking pictures of me and all that stuff as well, and there was this girl that like that lady was taking a photo of me for her or whatever, and she was like, oh, you guys are cute, like once you like me, like then you can. And I'm like, what are you saying right now? Like, she's talking about me like in front of like other like fans. She's like talking about me like all this stuff. I'm like, dude, like no, like come on, man, no.
The time and place.
Slide her over here to the MTM boys, dude.
we can make maybe that.
We're just
work.
trying to get text back, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking A. What else we got? Future collabs, future projects that you just want to shout out that you got going on?
I got the new single coming out in a week, man. I don't know when this drops, but it's August 18th. I got a single coming out called Till She's Gone. It's man, this is a cool one, man. This is a lot of my friends' like favorite one. It's super like red dirt though. It's like it's different. It's like a Luke Combs kind of. I like that. And then I got a lot more singles coming out, tour coming up, and hopefully we get me and Dylan are talking about doing something together. Dylan Scott, and then we got a bunch of people, Ashley Cook, that we're trying to do something with eventually.
Cool. Are you single, dude? Is the girl in your music? Are you dating or what's going on here?
In my music video? No, we're not dating. That's a really good friend of mine. I've known her for a couple years, and she's freaking great individual, man.
So he's
we know you like the DJs.
I am okay. All right.
Gotcha.
Yo, that was good. No, I did. No, TikTok, I guess, knows it as well. Did you see? I don't know if you saw my TikTok that I did the other day.
No, I didn't.
It was like this trend where it's like, this is why I don't do trends. It was the first. This is the first one I did, and I was like, oh my lord, I'm gonna post just a troll or whatever. But it was like this initial is your soulmate or whatever, and it pops up C, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me right now. Like, what the?
That's funny. No, I didn't know
I
am
single, but I am talking to somebody. Okay. Yeah, so it's but we're just
there was I worked for kind of a social media agency, kind of what you're talking. I think they still do Parker McCollum's social media, but Charlie was a DJ at that party that I was at, and I didn't even know who she was. I was like, oh damn, she's kind of killing it, dude.
Was it a birthday party?
Yeah.
Was it
like
Cam Fordham's?
Yeah. Cam was my boss. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I was like, where the fuck am I, dude? I'm just working for this guy. Wiz Khalifa's pulling up.
Yeah.
Were you at that party?
No,
dude?
I was with her. I was with her when she did do that though. Like,
so
I knew what she was doing out there. But
who this is, man? But
yeah, no, she's good, man. She's really cool. She's doing her thing, man. So
do we want to ask about just maybe the pop versus music, pop genre versus country genre now? Like, are you ever going to go back to that pop genre again?
Nah, man, I don't think so. A lot of people loved it, and there was some cool moments there. But I tell people I had no connection with it, man. Like it was cool, and I was whatever, but I didn't love it. There was no like real like emotion or heart behind it, and I went through like real moments in real life and all this stuff. And man, I love country music more than anything, and so I think I'm right where I need to be right now. So.
And Derulo's trying to get the cloud still out there.
You said what?
I said Derulo's trying to get the cloud out there still. What's going on with Jason Derulo out there? That was cool though. I was like, okay, first
it was a cool moment,
single
man.
debut. I'm like, all right, he's already rocking with Jason Derulo like in the passenger seat. It's like pretty
yeah.
All right, well, I don't know what the fuck's going on, dude.
Yeah.
All right, last question.
Yeah, let's do it.
We ask this at the end of all of our interviews. Man to man, what is the key to success?
Dude, man to man, honestly, there is no key to success. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, man.
I like that.
I like
Everyone's
that,
like, what do you do to get famous, man? It's literally it's different for everybody, man. What I did, I honestly don't recommend it because it's freaking so cringy. But you know what I mean. But I would say it's all about finding your own niche, man. You got it's consistency is like the main thing to success. If there was like one key, is like being different, standing out and being consistent. When I was doing good, I was posting 6 TikToks a day, 1 Instagram post every day, twice a week on YouTube, like all kinds of stuff. It's a full-time job, man. You got to stay consistent. But as far as like an exact like formula to do it, you just got to figure out what works for you, man.
Because you never really kind of know until you
never
just
know,
keep
man.
doing it.
You got to do a bunch of different things. You got to post at every times during the day to see, because believe it or not, there is a certain time in the day that I post, because if I post at nighttime, it doesn't do as good and all this stuff. So you got to play into the algorithm. You got to play into everything, man.
For social media people that kind of want to be a Tayler Holder, what's a piece of advice there? Just stay consistent.
Dude, stay consistent. I would honestly really like advise, like if you guys are just doing it to get famous, I'd say don't do it, man. Like, because that's where I was. And granted, you know, God, like, you know, moved me in a different direction and had a great plan for me. But at first, I did start out as just someone that wanted to be famous without understanding what it came with, man. And it's a lot, dude. So I'd say really like think about what you really want to do. I wouldn't really encourage anyone to kind of want to do this, to be honest with you, because of where the mental state it puts you at. I'm talking before what I went through even last year. I'm talking about before all that, man. The mental state was crazy, man. I was the saddest I've ever been in my life, man. And I had everything in the world, you know. So, but I'm saying if you want to do it, man, stay grounded, you know, slow down. I would say slow down is probably some of the best advice that I ever got, because I was eventually just going so much that I felt like a fucking robot, man. I was just living the same day over and over and over.
Running
again.
off fumes, doing the same thing.
It was
Take
crazy.
a breath, dude. Take a
Right
breath.
in front of us. I mean, from what we heard and saw today, I mean, nothing but the best for you. Sounds
Yeah,
like you're
congratulations on
man.
the success, man.
Thank
And,
you, man.
We usually end out the podcast. I haven't been doing this, but we do
we namaste?
We namaste for us. So
All right.
namaste for you.
Namaste.
Namaste, Tayler Holder, man, in the building.
appreciate
Appreciate
it,
you,
man.
man.
Thank you guys so much, man. Thank you.
Awesome, dude. Thank you, bro. Sorry about Mr. Coco at the beginning, dude.
chilling, man. He's slumped
He's just-
over here. Wait, where'd he go?